we left the hospital without a baby. That's not supposed to happen. It's nice and cool in here.
Yeah, he gets the aircon.
Oh, mate, that's so nice.
Man, I was just in there a minute ago. It's so hot in here.
Are you gonna leave that door open?
I think we might leave the door open. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's like.
Does it sound okay with the door open? One,
Right,
two,
just,
three,
just putting
four.
off your words, guys.
Okay.
So
just be a sec.
Speaking to Kerry this morning.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, we're doing a couple of shows today because Chris is going away." She was like, "All right. What ones?" I went C and D, and she went, "Huh?" And I went, "Well, don't tell me." And she went, "No." She went, "It's weird, isn't it?" She went, I can't remember what they are."
Oh, Karen did. Yeah. I said the same thing to Karen. I said, "We've got record 2 today." And she went, "What letters you on?" I went, C and D. And she just went, light and shade. And I went, okay. And then in my head, I was like, clitoris depression, character dick.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Honestly.
What do you reckon?
I'll say it on there, but I think.
Oh, do you want to save it for the podcast?
No, I can still. No.
We're on anyway. We're on YouTube.
Yeah. I think it will be cock or clitoris.
Yeah.
Or dick or depression.
I'm going clitoris depression.
Because I think they're going to say. I genuinely think they're going to say clitoris.
Oh, it's so sad though.
And then tell us where it is.
It's just a true reflection of my life. I know more about depression than I do about clitoris. I'm more of an expert on depression. I've Googled depression more than clitoris. I don't even know what kind of a man that makes me.
I do.
Whew, it's hot in here.
I went Topgolf.
I love Topgolf.
It grew on me because I was kind of thinking, well, it's stupid. Like, you hit a good shot, but it's not in the zone.
Yeah.
You don't get any points.
Yeah.
But then I just worked, because I'm not very good at golf. I worked out that I just got the 7-iron and I was just laying up into the middle one.
Yeah.
Bomb. 3 points.
I've played
Bomb,
it. I
6
loved
points.
it. Which one am I a member of? Do you remember? I'm a member of Topgolf, but at a certain one.
The O2.
Vegas. So that's the only time I've done Topgolf was in Vegas, and they had a swim-up bar, which I don't think they've got in the England. There's one in Watford. There's one near Watford.
There's one in Chigwell. That's when I went to Chigwell.
But I'm a member of all of them because of the one in Vegas, so I could go to Chigwell.
Are you you're not a full member? Like,
I think I did pay for it, but it's probably run out now. I was very drunk.
Because they said, "Do you want a full membership?" That's like 50-something quid,
and that's for all of them around the world.
But you only get 4. But that gets you, I don't know, it gets you 4 goes or something.
I would just pay as I went because I wouldn't use it that much. But when you were talking about having a go of golf because you're not very good and I'm not very good, we could do that as a first dip our feet into it.
We should go Topgolf as the A to Z of men.
Yeah.
You and Joe.
Yeah.
And because
God, I love that.
Because they've got, no, honestly, they've got,
send them this clip, Joe.
The chicken, no, honestly.
Hello, Topgolf.
Hi, Topgolf. No, honestly, the chicken wings. So, I went, are they hot? She went, they are quite hot. So, and I was like, a bit put off. So we got barbecue chicken wings and buffalo chicken wings.
Yeah.
And burgers and stuff. The burger was lovely, but the fucking buffalo chicken wings were unbelievable.
Joe, send them this clip of YouTube.
Do you reckon they'll get us in?
Topgolf, yeah. Scott from 5 and 2 other people. So why wouldn't they?
Yeah, no, it was.
If it's an Essex venue, we're both on the radio in Essex, Joe.
It was it was. It sounds like an advert now.
Yeah, Topgolf. Please make it happen.
It was very good, and yeah, good food, good food.
And
good
I liked
times.
the one in Vegas as well, which I'm, obviously a member of.
I mean, if you want to send us to that one, sure. We need flights as well, though.
That works.
Probably a hotel.
There's also. I'm going
to do them a deal right now. If you send us to Vegas to do to go and Topgolf and pay for all the flights and accommodation, we'll do an episode of the A to Z of Men in Topgolf in Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, and this does sound like an advert now, but they've got one Topgolf at the O2, I'm doing 3 shows there.
Because you're in 5, that boy band 5.
3 shows.
Wow. Did you sell those out?
Yeah. You put one on and you sold out.
Oh, wow.
And I could probably go to Top Golf whilst I was
you were there. And I'm that one of them as well, so we could do it together. Yeah. Food for thought. Buffalo wings for thought. Are we nearly ready, Joseph?
We are ready.
Because we're losing weight as much as an F1 driver loses weight.
Fully ready. Yeah, fully ready.
You know when they do the F1 and they finish, and because I always wonder why they do the weigh-in straight away afterwards, they lose like half a kilo.
Did you weigh yourselves before you come in?
No, I wish I'd done it now. They lose so much weight.
Oh,
is that Top Golf?
Scott,
no, it's
212. Do my mic test.
Kerry, I'm on the A to Z of men.
1, 2,
the little
3.
camera test as well. Yeah, good.
Actually,
do you remember what? We don't know the words yet. Have you remembered yet? No, don't say it. Do you remember what C and D could be? Because
that's better.
Hang on, because basically
that's better, isn't it?
Well, no, don't tell me.
Don't tell
me,
us.
But I am on camera now, right? But just as a question, don't give me anything. But we've guessed that it's either going to be for C. It's either going to be cock or clit, and either for D might be dick or depression.
Have you got dick on the brain?
I think
Kerry's got dick on the brain.
Is that because you're a dick?
So much faffing, guys. So much faffing.
It's a lot of faffing that goes.
I have your
this.
words ready. Are you ready?
Yeah. Go.
What's the matter?
No, nothing. No, I'm just before he brings the words out. I want to guess.
Yeah, we'll do that on this bit. Welcome to the A to Z of Men, episode C. It's Chris and Scott. We're back for episode C. 3 shows in already. I'm enjoying the new format.
I love the new format. One, I know I keep on saying it, but the not having to worry, because I've got quite a busy life going on with other stuff, kids, wife, dog, idiot dog won't walk, and 5.
Yeah.
I would wake up in a blind panic on podcast day and go, shit, it's my day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter now.
No, I was trying to do a bit of prep this morning and then realised I can't.
No.
I can look at what letters we might talk about on the bonus episode. I can look at some things we want to mention on this episode.
Bonus episode? What's that, Chris?
The bonus episode drops on a Thursday.
Does it now?
So it's an extra episode.
Is that like a new thing that we've been doing just on this season?
Yeah. So if you just listen to this season and you just sort of listen as you go, if you subscribed to the channel that you get,
how would you do that?
Just press the subscribe button or follow button.
Yeah.
And then that way, the bonus episode would just drop into like magic.
No way.
Like magic.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can do that by just hitting subscribe or follow. YouTube, same thing. I even noticed the bonus episode went out on YouTube. It's got no video on that, but you can actually listen to the bonus episode uncut on YouTube as well.
God, we're the gift that keeps on giving.
I would really like to get our subscribers up, especially on YouTube. Insta, we're really, really working on at the moment. So if you could do us a favour, and I know podcasts always seem to be selling stuff. I see it all the time. We just need one favour. But the subscribe button is a lifeline for us.
It really is. Link in bio.
I think it is. Is the link in bio, Joe?
To subscribe? I mean, the button's in the bio.
Well, there you go.
More than the link.
Whatever you're listening to this on now, there'll be a subscribe button. If you click on the A to Z of Men, there'll be a subscribe button.
Is this where I say if you don't press it, bad things happen to you?
No, because bad things won't happen to you if you don't press it. But why would you risk?
Bad things could happen to us.
Yes, we could get dropped.
Don't you even like us?
Yeah, we could get us dropped. So if you want to do that, you can reach out on all the socials. But Insta, we're trying to push Insta and YouTube at the moment. So those are the two we could really, really do with your help on that. So it's A to Z of Men Pod on both those things. A to Z of Men Pod, and you can subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and then wherever you get your podcasts from, iTunes, Spotify, whatever. If you click the follow button, better still leave us a little review.
We like reviews. We like the little stars. And you can email us correspondence, and you can do that at chrisandscottuk@gmail.com.
Exactly. And we have had some emails this week, which we'll do on the bonus episode, which will be out on Thursday.
What's that, Chris?
But then we've done that.
Oh, right.
So it's like a horrible loop now.
Yeah.
So this week's episode will be up on YouTube as well. So you'll get this download
guys.
on the Monday, which you may have already done, and you're listening to us now. Well, when you get home tonight, you'll be able to see the pictures of what happened. And as I noticed from last week's episode, it's uncut.
Yeah.
So when I make a mistake, I just look like a twat.
Oh, was it all the batteries falling on the floor?
All of that. That's all on there where I cleared my throat.
Do you know what? That's the first time I've cut out something on YouTube because it actually was 5 gruesome minutes of you trying to find batteries. And I was like,
you cut this down.
This isn't really actually that entertaining.
Not that interesting. Says producer Joe. But when I sort of went, and then I redid the line again, and it took 5 minutes because you wouldn't stop repeating the same thing over and over again. So all of that you wouldn't have heard on the podcast. On the podcast, I edit it to make it sound really slick. I take out some of the ums and the ahs, and it sounds really slick. So if you want the normal slick A to Z of men that you're used to, listen to it on your podcast channel. If you like all the bits with us sort of faffing around getting set up, then watch it on the YouTube video, and you'll get the podcast, but you'll get all the extra bits as well.
Yeah, nice.
YouTube is there at A to Z of Men Pod. Is that right on YouTube as well?
Yes.
Yeah, A to Z of Men
We're
Pod.
the same everywhere.
Yeah, and then Chris and Scott at chrisandscottuk@gmail.com if you want to drop us an email. Okay, we should move on to the A to Z. Oh, and the other thing to let you know, we wouldn't normally do this because we'd like to keep the theatre of the mind going. We are doing 2 episodes in one go. We're not just wearing the same clothes.
Yeah. The reason why we're going to do both today is because Chris is a prick.
I'm going on holiday with my family, which is important to do.
Yeah. It's very, 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 very true.
And we are doing both episodes on the hottest day of the year so far.
Yeah. It's 30 degrees outside, and we're in a studio.
So when you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice that episode D, we haven't got changed. We just came straight back into the studio a week later in exactly the same clothes, same hairstyle, same cup of tea, everything was exactly the same. That's not what we would normally do, but we don't want to miss a week for you guys downloading. So we're working twice as hard, double shifting today.
Double shift.
For you, not for us.
For you.
A to Z of Men. Let's roll into episode C. See, now for the YouTubers, right? This is actually exclusively the bit that you get. This isn't on the podcast.
No, it's not. This bit now.
So I'm going to have a bit of tea. You can do that if you want.
It's not on the podcast. I've run out of tea. Oh, no, it's a little bit left.
We'll make another one in between. So now, because what you hear on the podcast, it will suddenly come, there'll be an advert, probably an advert now. There's an advert now.
Yeah, advert.
Long one.
Is it for Top Golf?
Top Golf and Huel.
Yeah.
That is, if you could follow. All right, okay, that's the celebrity for later, and that's next week's podcast. Ready when you are, Joseph.
Well, no, we need to pick. We need to.
Yeah, we're going to choose that now. We're going to guess.
Yeah, guessing.
A to Z of Men. Welcome back, episode C. It's Chris and Scott. I'm the Chris one.
I'm also Chris.
No, you're the Scott one.
Oh, I'm Scott.
Not from 5, just Scott.
I'm Scott. Scotty Robbo.
And we're on episode C. We'd like to have a little guess of what's coming.
Yeah. I'm going to have 2 guesses for C.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually, I'm going to have 3.
Let's just, because we've already said we've blown that illusion. We're recording 2 in a row. So I said to Karen this morning, we're doing 2 today because we're away next week. And she went, well, what letters are you on? I said C and then D. And she just said light and shade. And I was like, oh, serious and not serious. So in my head, I've gone clitoris depression.
Right, yeah. So I've also gone clitoris depression.
Yeah.
But because I like a little competition, I think it could be cock.
Yeah.
It won't be CUNT, surely.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have thought so. I hope not. Imagine just you're both.
You remember that game we did where we just said celebrity names? What did we have to say after it? Brad Pitt, geezer or pleaser.
Yeah, geezer or pleaser.
Imagine if it's CUT. And you just say names, go.
yeah, exactly. Right. So it's either going to be clitoris.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, like, you've never found it. Or
something
really
There'll be diagrams.
Yeah. Or it could be confidence.
Which would be the serious word.
Yeah, it could be confidence.
Yeah.
And for D, could be dick.
Well, if it's confidence, that's the shade,
dicks.
and then dick for the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mentioned earlier, and if you're listening on the podcast, you wouldn't have heard me say it, but the realization that I actually know more about depression than I do about clitoris
is bad.
Well, I'm gonna out myself, aren't I? Because it's going to be blatantly obvious that I've Googled depression more than I've Googled clitoris.
Yeah, but you don't want to Google clitoris, do you?
No,
because
it's not the first thing I type into a search engine.
No, because you want to, you know where it is. It's a tiny bit higher than
just
ever thought.
higher. It's up north a little bit.
Yeah, up north a little bit.
Okay, Joe, let's get the word for C into the studio and see what we've got. Episode C, exciting times.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Drum roll, please.
Oh, okay. Have we got pointers as well, like normal?
Yes.
If you put mine there, and then I'll know which one it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Should we look at the same time, Chris?
Are we going to read to camera, or shall I read it to camera as we're reading it?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, mine's fallen on the floor. Go on.
Okay. We're both completely wrong.
Yeah, we are.
It is children. Children. Okay. Yeah, no.
So not quite the word we thought.
No, but
not a million miles away.
That makes sense, thinking of how. Oh, there you go. Oh, there's just a hand appeared into the studio. No, I like that because our children obviously are very important in both of our lives, as in mine and yours, and also Kerry and Karen's.
Yeah, and the making of us.
Sorry, I thought you meant the making of children. I was like, you've now gone.
Birds and the Bees. That was episode B. No, the making of me as a person. I think when I look back at my teenage years, I was a bit of a rebel. I was a bit naughty. I was always in trouble with the police. And when I had Kirsty so young, and I was only 20, 21 when Kirsty was born, same as you with Brent, it changed who I was as a person. It changed. All my priorities changed.
Your perspective, your outlook on life changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can't be as selfish as you once were. You've got a life to look after and nurture. It does. It grows you up really, really, really fast. It does.
Yeah, and I've never mentioned this before, but I got into a lot of trouble as a kid, just before Kirsty was born. And I was probably about 19, 20, and I would always get in trouble with, like, it was car stuff. It was basic growing up on a council estate in Watford, hanging around with the wrong people, not nicking cars, but just, driving cars uninsured, that type of stuff. Stupid things that kids do. And I got into trouble with the police. I got loads of. I was always in court. So the problem is, because I went to court and I got a fine, and then I left court and I was back home. I was never scared. There was never. I was just like, well, this is easy. So I carried on driving. It was cheaper than paying car insurance and getting your car legal. It was actually cheaper just to go to court, get a 40 quid fine, not pay it, and then just carry on as you were. Yeah. And then just my ex-girlfriend was pregnant with Kirsty. And I had a court date, and I just sorted my life out. I just turned a corner. I'd got my first job on the radio. I was helping out at the local radio station, and things were going really well. And I had this court date, and it wasn't for anything I'd done. It was for unpaid fines because I'd built up a stack of fines, like 2-3 grand's worth of fines. So I walked into court, nonchalant, just in there. I think I was wearing a baseball cap. I mean, I literally didn't take it seriously at all. And I remember standing outside the court, and it was a Friday, and this lad said to me, "Scary day today, isn't it?" And I was like, "Have you never done this before?" And he was like, "Yeah, but Friday is committal day, isn't it? Friday. It's not normal court. It's sentencing." And I was like, "Sorry, what? What does that mean?" And he went, This is a sentence day. This isn't a fine. It's unpaid fines. You can't get fined for unpaid fines." And it suddenly dawned on me that this was serious.
Serious shit.
So I went into court, and I was really scared. I stood up in the dock, proper magistrates court, people in wigs and all that kind of stuff. And the guy said to me, "You've shown no remorse, blah, blah, blah. You've never paid your fines, blah, blah, blah. We're going to sentence you to 6 months in Pentonville." And every part of my body left my stomach into my pants. I was absolutely shitting myself. Pentonville, I mean, not even the nice one in Milton Keynes, Pentonville, like the big one, the one on the Monopoly board. So I was like, shit. What I didn't hear him say and what I didn't understand was suspended. I didn't really know what that meant. All I heard was jail, 6 months, girlfriend's pregnant, just started at the radio station, probably not taking people on that have been in prison. So I literally thought I'd blown the whole thing. I started crying my eyes out. I was like, I was back to being I was a child again.
You're 12.
Yeah, I was like all my dreams. And I'd only ever dreamed about being on the radio. And he said to me, "Listen, you've got time to turn your life around. It's a suspended sentence." And I said, "I don't know what that means." And he explained it to me. and it was basically just stay out of trouble. And you
Otherwise,
won't go to prison.
yeah.
If I'd gone home and drove my car with no insurance again and got arrested, got pulled over, I'd be back in court. I'd go to prison.
Yeah.
So then Kirsty was born, and I made a promise to myself when she was born that I would never put myself in a position where I'd be taken away from her. I wouldn't be able to look after her.
But that's what it's a bit. But it does that moment when your child is born. Especially at a young age, like, you know, you were a similar age to me. I was
21.
I was 21 when Brennan was born. Kerry was 18, right? And I was, you know, I was in 5 at that point, and we were flying. I mean, we were, you know, doing a world tour, and straight away my whole life changed, but for the better. And don't get me wrong, and you know, don't want this to come out wrong, but Brennan wasn't planned. It wasn't like we were trying to have a baby at that point. But you know, what a blessing, you know, like, so we were scared. We were definitely scared, you know, Kerry being 18 and the lifestyle that we were living, you know, on tour. But it grew me up really, really fast. And like, there was never any point where me and Kerry weren't going to have that baby. Like, there was never even a decision. Like, it was, I remember exactly where I was. I'm sure I've told this story before, but I was on stage in Dublin, just about to sound check for, Until the Time Is Through. Cause you don't sound check every song. I was like, if I can hit me high note, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So literally, and the sound guy was called Joe. And, so I'm standing there, and I'm like, yeah, go on, stick Until the Time Is Through on, Joe. I'll give it a belt, blah, blah. And Kerry walks out of the dressing room, and she just holds up in the air a pregnancy test and goes like that, like nods. And I went, I won't be sound checking today, Joe. And he's obviously clocked what it was.
Yeah.
And I've just taken my, do you remember we used to wear them silly like microphones around our...
Oh, the Madonna ones. Yeah.
Took that off, put it down, and I just walked in to just gave her a big hug. And it was daunting, it was scary.
Yeah.
But it changed my perspective on what's important straight away. Like that, when that, you know, first child's born and you look at them, that instant love and that instant connection, and the way it brings you together as a family, it's just, it's an incredible moment.
Very powerful.
Yeah. And your life changes for the better.
Yeah.
In an instant.
Yeah.
And for you, like what you just explained there, it gave you the shock of, I need to sort my shit out. Because if you carry on down, and listen, it doesn't work for everyone, that, you know, and there'll be people that they don't snap out of that lifestyle, but you were strong enough to go, no, I'm being a bit of a dick. I'm being selfish.
Yeah. And also from my point of view, which has been well documented, because I think ever since finding out that my dad wasn't my real dad, I'd always wanted kids. I wanted something that I owned, because one thing that, and you might be able to relate to this if you've been in a similar situation, but when you have knowledge taken away from you, so in my case, I had my dad almost taken away from me because it turned out he wasn't my real dad. There becomes a real need to have constance in your life, to have something in your life that you know is yours, you know is real. And that was so important to me from that moment that I found out about my dad. I just wanted my own children. I just wanted to have children. That's why I was so young. But it also, for me, I really believe it stopped me from going to prison. It definitely stopped me from carrying on with that life. I moved away from the people I was hanging out with because my life had changed. I'd now got more responsibilities. I remember watching Kirsty being born, and we talked about this in the favourite pub burning down and all that. But we're joking about it. But I remember having that little baby girl, £6.15 in my arms, and looking down and thinking, well, as a 20-year-old, fuck.
Yeah. What do I? Yeah.
But also, I'm responsible for this.
It's such...
whatever I teach this baby, it will grow up and learn all my learnings. What an amazing moment.
I know it is. It's a moment which you'll never forget. And I have tried to, you know, when you speak to a mate whose wife or girlfriend's just newly pregnant.
Yeah.
And they take you down the pub and go, well,
Yeah.
so-and-so's pregnant. And you go, oh, mate, congratulations. It's going to change your life, like, for the better. It's really going to be the making of you. They go, yeah, I know. And you go, no, you don't fucking know. Don't tell me you know.
Yeah.
Because I've been you.
Yeah.
And people have said that to me and I go, yeah, I know. You don't know until that moment where you hold your baby for the first time. That, like, it's what we spoke about, that unconditional love. Like, there's nothing that you won't do to protect that child. And I don't know, like, I remember, Brennan was £5.1. He was 6 weeks premature. And I've been on the TV talking about this, like, the record label are trying to get me to go on CD UK or, one of those. I think it was CD UK. We've got a bike. It's outside the hospital. We're going to, it's waiting for you now. You need to jump on this bike. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. My kid's in neonatal, not like, we're feeding the baby through a tube up its nose and down its throat. I'm not leaving my, Kerry was my girlfriend at the time, not leaving my girlfriend in a state in hospital with this baby that's poorly. Fuck CD UK. Like literally, you know, I don't give a shit about going to see Ant and Dec. Like, I'll do that another day or I won't. It doesn't matter to me. You know, and it's a great show to be on. I loved doing the show, but
it's prioritising.
It changes your priorities. And then, you know, it's well documented. I don't like going away. I don't like doing that part of being in 5. Even now my kids are older. I mean, you know, Brennan's 23, Cavan's 18, the twins are 11. Like, it's not like they're babies anymore, but I still don't relish the fact of going away for a 3-4 week tour. I'm like, no, I don't.
You don't want to be away from them, though.
I need them.
And you miss out on stuff.
Well, I need them there. I need them there. But I tell you what gets me with children, and I know you've had this experience, is even when they do some dickhead stuff and you go, bloody hell, like, and you've got to teach them wrong from right. But when they do something great, like pass a driving test or ace an exam, or score a goal at football, or, you know, save one off the line, like, you know, like Sam's a defender, like, save one off the line, or, you know, if you're a goalkeeper, like, you know, tip one over the bar. Those moments, I would take any one of those moments over any moment that I've had in my professional career. Like, I was talking to my mate Rob yesterday, funny enough.
Robbie Williams.
No, actually not Robbie Williams. No.
His mate Rob?
No. Rob Walsh from Basildon.
Yeah. The other Rob.
Yeah, the other Rob. Yeah. And he said, fucking hell, he said, you must be so proud of Bren. So for context, Brennan is 23 years old. He's gone to Thailand. And I honestly thought he was just going over there to smoke and chill out, hammock, drink and do whatever, right? And he's 23. He's a bloke. He's got beard. He's a
geezer.
He's a proper
geezer. He's a geezer. Yeah.
He's a teacher now.
Yeah.
Like, he's
incredible.
He decided that he was gonna not turn his life around, because he's never been bad, but like, he had all the degrees and everything. He's been to university. He's got 2-1. He's done really, really well. And I was like, but he had no direction. None. He just was you know, Bren, he's a little bit of a wanderer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he just wanders about, right?
Highly intelligent.
Yeah.
But didn't quite know what he wanted to do with the intelligence.
And then he's gone to, I thought he would go for a year or a little bit longer, come back, then start his career. But without any, but I didn't have to push him into anything. And actually, I think that's probably why he's done it.
Yeah.
He made his own decision. Couldn't be prouder. He's 23 years old. He's now in Thailand. He's literally teaching. I just spoke to him about 5 minutes ago, and actually he told me a really funny story. So he's having a discussion with the other teachers, and this Thai lady has said to him, one of his bosses, who's in her 40s, what do your parents do? And he said, oh, my mum's a LSA, so a teacher, and my dad's a singer. And she's got, oh, what, doing what? So Brennan's thinking, I know my dad's pretty famous, but
but maybe not here.
But maybe not in the North Thailand. He's in Chiang Mai, right? So he's gone, oh, yeah, he's a singer. And she's got, oh, anything big, like, I can play you a song. He's got songs. Plays Keep On Moving to these people, and they start singing along. Oh my God, we love this band. We love Five. Which one is he? Which one is he? Scott. She went, oh my God, my favourite song is Until the Time Is Through. Start singing Until the Time Is Through. He's just told me that, right? And I was like, bloody hell, that's
mad.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that's my boy over in Thailand. Like it's and then everything that your kids do impresses you. Like Kevin just being diagnosed with diabetes and it not ruining his life. He's not let it go. He's not gone, oh, that's it, life's over. He's gone, all right, okay, this is what I do now. This is my new normal. I take injections. That's what I do. He's like, and you know, down to everything, the twins, everything that Harry and Sam and Kirsty are doing. Like, you've got grandkids. Like, it's so, they're wonderful.
It's a never ending. Yeah. It is never ending. And if you've got young kids now and you think, you know, one day they'll get older and I won't be so invested, you will always be invested. I'm invested in everything Kirsty does. I'm invested in Harry and Sam. Harry's currently living his life. He's in Rhodes with his girlfriend on holiday this week. And I'm so incredibly proud of all my kids when I see them. And we recently went to my mum's funeral and all three of the kids were there. And because Kirsty grew up with her mum, and me and Kirsty's mum split up when Kirsty was about 3 or 4. Yeah. So I was still very much part of Kirsty's life throughout of that. And mainly because she's my daughter, but also because of the fact that I'd also come from a broken home with the dad I didn't think was, you know, the dad situation. But then my mum and dad splitting up and then living with a stepdad. So I'd lived without having my real dad in my life all the time. And I made sure that Kirsty did have access to me all the time. Yeah. And she was also growing up around the time when I was on Capitol. So she was going to party in the parks backstage, hanging out with the Spice Girls. And she had all of that because the boys are so jealous of that. Yeah. Sam went to Summertime Ball this weekend. He's like, why do you not work there anymore? And I'm like, because I'm about 80 and I've got to let other people do it. But for Kirsty, that was her life. She went to the Lilo and Stitch premiere in Leicester Square. She lived that. But she was part of it.
They're quite lucky, our kids, really.
Yeah,
really.
100%.
When you think about what we do for a living, you on radio and me doing what I do, like, and you know what? And Bobby's going to kill me for saying this. She is, but she doesn't. I fucking hope she doesn't. But I will tell her.
Let's hope she doesn't listen to this.
I will tell her. So the other day on Father's Day. Because there's a running joke in my household that I'm not funny, right? And I like, fucking hell, like, I am pretty funny, right? And then I keep on saying that I'm going to do stand-up one day, and they all laugh at me, all of them, right? The twins included, they're 11. And Bobby, in my card that she'd handmade, which was really, really cool, it said, don't tell anyone that I've told you this, but now so I thought I'd do it on the podcast. Don't tell anyone that I told you this, but I think you're really cool and really funny, but don't tell anyone. I'll deny it or something. And I was like she said, you're really cool. I think you're really cool. And I was like, that's such a nice thing for your child to say. And when she recently see me at Robbie Williams, I think it finally, for both of them, and even Kevin, who was there, obviously Brennan couldn't be because he was away in Thailand. But I think when they see a moment like that, I go from dickhead dad to, in their eyes, superstar. Yeah. And Robbie Williams is a superstar. I'm not. I'm the guy from Pitsy, right? But You're
still in a world famous boy band.
Yes.
That people in North Thailand know.
Yeah. So I don't
but you're never going to see yourself like that.
No, and nor does Robbie.
Yeah.
Like Robbie Williams doesn't, my mate Robbie Williams, he doesn't,
he would be like, oh my God, 5 are megastars.
He doesn't see himself as a superstar. But there was a little glint in all of their eyes when I come off stage and when they gave me a hug. Even Kerry, like there's that moment where they go, Yeah.
You're a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that is, it is really important. And I feel bad for the kid, but and I shouldn't do, because obviously having parents that do the kind of things that we've been lucky enough to do, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, you obviously, if you work as an accountant, you still want your kids to look up to you and go, you know, what an amazing person you are, because it's the stuff you do. It's the love you give. It's the time you give. It's the dedication to being a parent that you give that child that they get out of it. Obviously, if you can get them on red carpet premieres in Leicester Square, it's a bonus.
Yeah, no, 100. But like, do you know what? Something that you said, the two things that I just picked up on. One, you used the words, we're lucky enough. That pisses me off.
No, I don't mean that. I mean the kids. I probably meant the kids are lucky enough. They've been born into a family. Look around the world where you could be born.
Yeah, no.
So to be born into one of our families, I think you're doing all right. And I think that is an element of luck. You could be born into any.
Well, no,
family.
yeah, no.
I don't mean that what we achieved was luck. You know, I don't.
Because a lot of people say that. God,
no, I don't.
Even Cavan, and I've had to pull him up on it. Cavan, my second born, he says to me something like, you know, I don't know, I do a cameo or something and I get paid for it, or I do an advert, or I do something and he knows that I don't tell him what I earn, but he knows that I'm doing
the 50 grand an episode for that. We don't talk about them. We don't make any money.
No.
Oh, by the way, our Patreon is still open.
Oh.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. And he said, you're so lucky. And I went, whoa. I said, lucky? I said, I work my bollocks off to be in this band, and I'm lucky to be blessed with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not lucky.
The way I look at it, and because I'm in the same situation as you, where my dream wasn't to be a pop star, it was to be a Capital DJ, and I did that. So people will say to me, oh, it's lucky you did that. And it's like,
yeah.
But if you're watching a football team, so you're at Arsenal, yeah? You're at the Emirates.
I've played there.
Yeah, I know. You're so lucky. You go.
That was fucking lucky. That was lucky.
You watch Arsenal playing, and then they score the most ridiculous goal at the end, right? It's like 96 minutes. No, more ridiculous. No. It kicks it towards the goal. It rebounds, does some pinball off four of their defenders, hits the last bloke in the knob, and it rolls into the goal, right? You'll go, lucky goal.
Yeah.
It's not lucky. It's not a lucky goal, because what is the intention?
To score a goal.
Yeah. So there's 11 men on the pitch trying to score a goal in the other person's net. However that goes in, you've created your own luck. You've worked to build your own luck. The fact you're on the pitch, the fact you've been training all week to get to that moment, to be on the pitch against Tottenham, to score that goal, is what you've been training to do.
Exactly.
Yes, it's a lucky goal, but the intention was to score a goal.
Yeah.
So however much I look at my career, and there will have been, of course, there'll be elements of luck how I got to Capital. The fact that and I have talked about it on the podcast and you can go back, but the program controller happened to be listening to me while I was on another station while he was stuck in traffic in a car, heard me and went, he's really good. Well, if he hadn't been going to wherever he was going that day, he wouldn't have been listening to me.
Yeah.
But what I'd done is I'd put everything in place that if anybody was listening to me at that time, they would go, this is the guy we need at Capital. And it works.
No,
so you create your own luck. So I do believe there is an element of luck. I've thought about this a lot recently. There is an element of luck, but it's how you position yourself within that luck.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And something else that I think, if you can be a good role model to your kids, I've not always been the bit like suffered with a little bit of, I've had to go anger management, stuff like that. That's from, like hangover from the band, which is, I'm out the other side of now, and the healing that we've done in the band as you know, spoken about. But so I've not always been the best, but I do pride myself on being a great dad. And I know they're really proud of me and my achievements. But I look at my dad and what he taught me without even, not like he sat me down and taught me this, but just what he taught me with his actions when I was growing up was he never missed a day's work.
Yeah.
Ever in his life. And even, I don't know if I spoke about this on the podcast, but there was a day when, so I think I did. It was the first time I'd ever seen him cry.
Yes, when he said if I pick you up in the car. Yeah, it was last week,
Yeah, so I spoke about it then. But the next day he was out digging holes.
Yeah.
Like he was a curtain fitter who knew nothing about digging holes, but he needed to provide for his family. We were born, with council house, very, very working class. My dad worked his bollocks off. My mum worked her bollocks off. He hasn't got bollocks, my mum.
Well, she worked them off. So.
Yeah, she worked them off. She hasn't got them anymore. But he worked so hard, my dad, doing stuff that he didn't. I mean, I remember my dad didn't like going away. He used to go to Scotland for a couple of weeks, like doing hotels, putting curtains up in new build hotels. But he didn't want to stay away. He had to support the family. So that taught me to go, and if you need to go and get the money, the money's just not going to fall in your lap.
No, absolutely. And that's where we get our work ethic from. And it is from our parents. And that's what we're passing on to our parents. I just obviously remembered we've got pointers that we need to talk about, even though we've pretty much completed a podcast.
I can all.
Yeah, I think I can see one that
covered it.
is something I didn't know whether we were going to talk about. So some pointers to talk about becoming parents when you were still basically kids yourself. You both did this. Would you do anything differently? No, I wouldn't do anything differently. I
think it was the perfect time for both of us, because everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
It saved you from
troubles,
a life of crime.
Yeah.
And it saved...
I look like a geezer.
Yeah.
I mean, I look like the kind of person who's in a lot of trouble as a kid.
But it did. It's made you steer into cleaner waters, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And for me, it gave me the perspective that I needed to realise what's important.
I wouldn't have changed anything. I'm so glad that Kirsty came along when she came along. It was, and even though, me and her mum didn't make it, even when you look at all of that, it was still the best thing that happened to me. And and at that age, she came at exactly the right time for me.
No, you did.
Yeah, exactly that. A question for Scott. What's it really like? And let me finish, right?
Oh, okay.
What's it really like to raise twins as individuals who are so different but the same? Can you describe the feeling of seeing two hearts beating on the screen?
Overwhelming, beautiful. I remember the first thing I said, which was probably problematic. I said, sorry, what? Because they said, this is baby number one.
And you had no idea?
No. Because I was outside the room, and you know, they do a little check over first, with your missus, and then they call you in, and then you have a look, right? With the gel and all that malarkey. Well, I was outside for what seemed like forever, and we had the boys with us, and we'd told the boys that we were, when I say the boys, I mean Brennan and Kevin. I don't mean I don't mean Sean, Rich, Ebbs, and Jay just sitting there going, "Can I hurry up, mate?"
Like in Friends.
yeah. And we had told the boys that we were going for. Mum was having a test for something, a blood test or whatever. And this is quite funny actually, because of the innocence of children, right? So I'm waiting, and the nurse has come out, and I think, she's going to call us in now. And she walked past us, didn't look at us, looked a little bit puzzled or rushing or something. So I started to think, oh my God, she's lost the baby. My instant thought was, oh my God, she's lost the baby, and the boys are here. It's going to be horrendous. I literally remember that it was yesterday. And then she goes back in the room with another person. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I had this aching feeling in my heart, and then called us in, had a smile on her face. I was like, all right, okay, I've definitely overreacted. We're going to be fine. So we all go in, me, Brennan and Kevin. Kerry still doesn't know. And the nurse says, this is baby number one. And I'm thinking, baby number one? I was like, baby number one? Weird fucking thing to say. This is baby number two. I went, what? I went, I'm going to have to buy a new car. Right? That was my initial thing. But looking at that screen and then seeing both heartbeats.
Yeah.
And then I gave Kerry a kiss, and Brennan said, oh my God, you come here to have a blood test, and not only do you find out that you've got one baby, you find out you've got two. We're like, no, Brendan, we knew we was having one baby. We just didn't tell you.
Yeah.
We now know we're having two.
Yeah.
So in answer to both questions, seeing that, it literally brought me to tears. Like seeing those two heartbeats was unbelievable, and getting the two scan pictures was a life-changing experience in that moment. And raising twins together is...
I'll give you the question again. Talk about raising twins as individuals who are different but the same.
A learning curve, because when they're babies, they're twins.
You dress them the same.
You want to dress them the same. It's really cute.
Same haircuts.
Yeah, they're both girls, and they never looked the same, even as babies. Bobby was always bigger than KD, but they've completely switched roles, as you know. Bobby, they're both really confident girls.
They are very, very different.
Yeah, they don't look like twins. I mean, Bobby's.
But character-wise, they're different people.
Yeah, they're completely different people. And you have to make a decision when they go to school that you get asked when you have twins.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep them together or do you want to separate them?
And what did you do and why?
Well, right. So such a life-changing decision. And it sounds really minor, but it's not. It's a massive decision because you've done the same shoes, same pigtails, same everything. You're not giving them their own identities when they're 2, 3, 4. Like you're not. Like they're just two. They're twins.
Yeah,
they're twinning, right? But Bobby was really, really quiet, really shy, dangerously shy, and KD wasn't. So Bobby would follow KD around to the point where, in her shadow a little bit.
Yeah.
And we made the decision, and me and Kiri spoke about it. If we separate them, Bobby's going to struggle because she needs KD.
Like a double act.
Yeah. Well, she needs KD to, we thought she'd get, I don't know, if that's left behind, socially, if she didn't have KD to fight her battles.
Okay.
But we made the opposite decision. We split them up to let Bobby grow as her own individual. And by fuck, she grew.
Yeah.
She's so confident now, and she's so,
yeah.
But it gave her that development of having to stand on her own 2 feet. And it was a really, really hard decision because in a way we felt like, is Bobby going to be able to cope with it?
Mm.
And she did. And now they've got their own, they love spending time together. They're the best of friends. They argue like shit sometimes.
Yeah. Like siblings do.
Yeah. But they're the best of friends. All of our kids, we're so blessed to have, they all get on. They all Brennan and Kevin are like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, Harry and Sam.
Yeah.
And she's just blossomed. And now they're the complete polar opposite. Bobby hates sport and it's not into football, doesn't like anything really like that. KD plays football, loves watching football, plays tennis. I mean, I'll give you, so we went to, it was just, what do you call it? Cross country the other day, not cross country.
Sports day.
Sports day, yeah. There actually was cross country as well, but on cross country a couple of weeks ago, Bobby said to me, she's not a runner, she hates running. And she was doing really well in this race. She was third, but she didn't finish third. She finished last. And I watched her get to near the finish line and slow down on purpose, properly slowed down. And she finished. I went, Bobby, you was doing really well. You was coming third. And she went, do you know that if you come first, second or third, you have to run again? And I was like, that's fucking genius.
You're so proud now.
Yeah, no, I was like, what? So you've made a conscious decision in your mind to come last or fourth so you don't have to run again. She went, it's hot and I don't want to run again. I hate running. But Katie, Bobby's got such a good attitude now where we go crazy golf and she's not very good at it. She's happy to go last. She doesn't try to win.
Yeah.
Katie wants to win, Bobby's more than happy to come. She goes, "Yay, I'm last." She's got this like really. They're both so different, but in a great way. And I love that. I love the decision that we made to. But like even down to when they're little, like everyone goes, "Oh, it must be a nightmare having twins." No, it's not. You've either both got one. I'm feeding one, Kerry's feeding the other. But if you get them into the same routine, you can feed them both at the same time.
I always think that with triplets. You've got there's me and there's you, and we've got another one. we've got three.
But I genuinely think you do it, don't you?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
We said in episode A, season 1, doesn't come with a manual.
Yeah,
we're talking about that, wasn't we?
Yeah, I thought that might. Chris, talk about losing a child in pregnancy and how that feels for a man. What would you tell someone in the same situation? Karen says you can be honest, open and frank as you want to be about our experience with Bobby. I love this podcast, don't you? Should we do? I thought it was going to be clitoris.
Oh, cock. Bloody hell. It's going to be tough, this.
It was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. And I wasn't there on the first scan, so they mixed up Karen's scan dates at the doctor's surgery, and it was a complete nightmare. So the original 12-week scan, we were 18, 19 weeks in when we were scanned. I didn't go. I was on air at Capital. It's like you said before, I was doing my CD UK thing.
Yeah.
Because there was no issue. There was no
yeah.
problem. It was a scan. One of Karen's friends, Amanda, said, "I'll go with that. It's absolutely fine." I was quite new into my career at Capital. I was covering James Cannon shows on mid-mornings across London. I was like, I have to kind of be here, but I'll come straight to hospital afterwards. So that's fine. I think, there wasn't an issue.
There's no, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then I finished the show and I got a phone call from Karen to say, it's not good. It's, for one, I'm way past 12 weeks and there's quite a lot of issues that aren't great. So obviously I didn't even go back upstairs. The show had finished, but I left everything upstairs. I literally just got on a tube and come back to Essex. So we was chatting and went back to home in Wickford and was talking about it. And we had to go to King's College in London to have a 3D, all singing, dancing, proper scan. So it was the next day we went up to London to King's College and we met with a specialist who I'd actually seen him on a documentary on the telly. He's an Israeli guy. He's one of the leading, neonatal doctors in the world. I mean, this guy was like, if somebody was going to be looking after you, this was the guy you needed. Yeah. He was incredible. We did the scans and it was, the baby suffered with something called exomphalus, which is, I think they're giving you stats as well. They're like, this is 1 in 2 million. It's like, it's fucking happening to my child. Yeah. So it's not 1 in 2 million. It's 1 in the people that are in this room. And it's where all the organs are growing on the outside of the body. So where we talked about nipples last week and how your body's a flat surface and then it forms into a body. Bobby's, and we call him Bobby, it hadn't worked and all the organs were it was just all over the place and it was just awful. Then we went for a heart scan and the heart was backwards, deformed, murmurs, holes in heart on the wrong side of the body. It was, I mean, honestly, it's literally your worst nightmare. Yeah. It wasn't just a little thing that had gone wrong. Everything had gone wrong.
Everything that could have gone wrong had gone wrong.
So I hope this is me and Karen had to make a decision which still haunts me.
Well, no, and I know that, and I remember, and I can't remember when it was that you phoned me, but it would have been quite early on, and we were very close at this point, and and I remember the turmoil that you were in.
There's nothing. You're not going to have the baby, have some tablets, do this, do that, and the baby's going to be fine. This baby wouldn't survive a day outside the womb. This was the leading guy. I'm a radio DJ. I've got to listen to him.
Yeah.
So we had loads of time to think about what we wanted to do, and we made a decision. And I stand by that decision because
I think, I think the right decision.
But there will be people that will say, well, then you've played God, but I haven't. But because at that moment in time, I'm that child's parent. That child is in pain. Nothing is not going to get better. If they'd said, have the baby and there's a 50-50 chance or a 10-90 or even a 99% chance that we can fix everything. He was categorical. there is no chance this baby would survive a day, 2 days at tops.
But then I don't feel you did play God, because I think the decision you made that obviously we'll get into, but the fact is that if Bobby would have been born, he would have passed away anyway.
100%. So that was literally what we were told.
There is only one decision to make, and actually stopping the pain, starting your pain, but stopping Bobby's pain when you did is the best thing and the bravest thing you'll ever do and ever had to do.
It will always be something I'll think about, always, because it was. So what happens is once you've made that decision, then they will. I won't go into detail, but they make that happen.
Yeah,
and then Karen then still has to give birth because you've passed all of that. Karen's still got to give birth. So we left King's Hospital. They gave us some stuff that they gave to Karen, and then it meant the waters will break, and then we had to go to Basildon Hospital in a special wing, not the happy one, not the happy one with the flowers and everything. No. It's a different place you go to, and it's to be fair on the people that work there, an incredible job. You're not just a midwife; you're doing this type of midwifery. Takes a really special person,
strong person,
strong person, and somebody
because something that's meant to be joy. Like, sorry to interrupt you. Something that's meant to be such a joyful thing,
and you're literally next door to all of that joy. You can hear that joy.
Yeah,
you can see it in the car park when you go out for a vape or a cigarette. You can see other people that are in a different situation to what you're in. And then Karen had to give birth to Bobby, and
how many weeks old, Chris?
It was. I'm not great with time dates and
but it was very small.
Yeah,
Bobby was
tiny,
very small,
and translucent as well. I mean, it was. Oh mate, it was hideous. I can't. That's the only word I can describe. Not Bobby. The situation was hideous.
And I hate that you and Karen had to go through that. Like, and even the second you brought it up on the thing, straight away.
I knew it'd be on that sheet.
Yeah, straight away, the emotions I feel, and it's, I'm just your mate. But I remember the turmoil that you was in. I remember the pain that you and Karen and what you went through. And and that never leaves you, does it?
No, never
leaves you.
No, and we named him Bobby because we needed to recognise that, I think I said last week I've seen 4 of my children being born, and you may have thought he's only got 3. Does he hang around? I'm going to watch this one being born.
Yeah.
No, I watched Bobby being born, so I've seen all 4 of my children being born, and and obviously naming. I mean, I don't know why I'm explaining that. That's a normal thing to do. And Bobby, it was the name of my dad's bars that he had in London when he moved over to the UK, and he had a bar called Bobby's Bar. And that's why the bar's called Bobby, because also my dad's wherever he is now. And hopefully if Bobby goes to wherever my dad's is now, my dad will keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Because the recognition of the name Bobby and his bar, Bobby's Bar, he'd go, oh, it's my grandson.
Yeah.
Maybe. My mum's now there as well. The hardest thing to go through. And I think for the man, a really weird situation to go through because none of this is happening. We joked about it last week. None of this is happening to you inside your body. No. Karen's got to go through the birth of a stillborn child, to go through all that pain, but not to be given the baby at the end and go, there you go, there's your baby, off you go.
Because we know, like we joke about it a lot. We make lots of jokes about, you know, the population being a lot smaller if men had to do it, you know, but women, I mean, they're incredible, aren't they, women?
Yeah.
They go through all this pain and it looks like it's more than smarts a little. Like, it really does look like it hurts.
But that hurt and that pain is wiped away as soon as that baby's been put in your arms.
Yeah, 100%.
But we didn't have any, we left the hospital without a baby. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, wow.
Blowing me.
But that isn't supposed to happen, is it? No one tells you. With people you have a baby, people just think it's natural. Yeah, you just go in, have a baby, come out. Yeah. It doesn't always work like that.
No.
And I'm not trying to scare anybody that might be pregnant, but creating a life and giving birth to a baby is fucking miraculous. Yeah. I mean, it is the most amazing, precious gift you're given. And we take it for granted.
Well, 100% we do, yeah.
And this was a reminder maybe that you can't take it for granted because it doesn't always work out. It doesn't always work out. And then, you know, 6 months later, because we were told that it could have been our chromosomes, we compatibly didn't match. Imagine being told you and your wife don't compatibly match chromosome-wise, this could happen again. We desperately wanted kids. We had Bobby. 6 months later, we had Harry.
Yeah,
Harry was born about a year later. So Harry wouldn't have been. See, this is the juxtaposition, because Harry would not be Harry if Bobby had gone full term. It couldn't have been. But it'd be impossibilities. The timing would have been. Yeah. It wouldn't have happened. So I wouldn't have Harry now if I had Bobby.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if I had Bobby, I wouldn't care about having Harry because I'd have Bobby.
Yeah.
But when I look at Harry now...
And when you think that Harry's also a miracle.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and also, the thing with Harry as well was when we got pregnant again, obviously, I went to the first scan, which was at King's. We bypassed all of the local... But they literally said, whenever you're pregnant again, you need to come straight to King's. The relief of sitting in exactly the same room 6 months later, but looking at a very different picture, was amazing. Incredible. We had to go to King's for 12 weeks, 18, 24, and then we were sent to the normal Basel and said, this is absolutely fine. Yeah. And then when we gave birth to Harry and we got Harry and we brought him home, it was just this precious gift that we wouldn't have Harry.
But I imagine, and I can only imagine because I've not been through it. I've been through it with you, but I've not been through it. I can only imagine that the whole pregnancy, but I know because I've spoken to you.
You were scared.
Yeah, scared fucking shitless.
Absolutely.
Because the whole thing, you're like, because you've been through arguably the worst thing you can go through, you're constantly thinking, well, this is fucking going to go wrong again. This is going to go wrong again.
Yeah.
And I imagine even after Harry was fine and then Karen falls pregnant again with Sam, you're probably still nervous because you're thinking, shit. Like
Sam a little bit easier because and we went to King's with Sam, and then in fact I don't even know if we did. I don't think we had to. I think we went to Basildon and they were told if there's any problems, bring them. But it was absolutely fine with Sam.
I looked after Harry then.
You did. When Sam was born, Harry came to the only place he would go to was your house.
Yeah,
and he came to your house, and and
I gave him a dummy that he wasn't meant to have. And then when he got back, I was like, oh, he's back on his dummy. Sorry about that. And he was like, for fuck's sake.
I just said, well, on that thing, what would you tell somebody in the same situation? I honestly, I don't really know, because you're just really numb. I would say that make sure obviously you're there for your partner. I tried to be as strong as I could for Karen, and then come around your house and cry into your arms and go back to Karen and go, I'm a strong man.
But do you know what? I feel like we've spoken about this before, but for a very different reason. Sometimes, and I'm sure you had this moment. I certainly had it with Kerry when she lost her mum, and I was being the strong blah, blah.
Yeah.
Kind of that they need to see your vulnerability as well. And I remember
think so.
the time when you did break down with Karen and have that, because it can come across at that point that you don't care as much, and obviously you do, but doing that strong man thing. I told that story, didn't I? When Kerry's gone out and I'm crying and I'm washing up because I miss Sue as well, but it's her mum, and I'm like, and then when she come home early and I'm crying, and she was like, "What are you? Oh, I'm fine. What are we talking about? I mean, fucking Arsenal lost me." and then I said, "I'm crying about your mum."
Yeah.
We had this amazing hug. She realised, and I think so. The only advice I would give someone is just be there for each other and don't be scared to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I
would much prefer to talk about clitorises, if I'm honest.
I hope that, this is, soon as it said children, I knew what was coming up because I don't talk about it.
No. But in it,
I do talk about it, but not generally
in a public forum.
Yeah.
That's going to be on YouTube.
Shut it away.
It's going to be on YouTube and that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what, right?
But if somebody's going through it and it helps them see other people have been through it and they can still laugh and smile and enjoy life, that's a good thing.
Exactly that. And it doesn't mean that you care any less. You do have to pick yourself up and you do have to carry on.
I tell you one thing, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I didn't say what the context was. We talked about what I did for a living as a radio presenter, and one of the most powerful things I've ever have happened to me about my career is when I was leaving the hospital. That I have definitely mentioned this on the podcast, but I didn't contextualize it. After that happened, and I had to leave Karen in the hospital because I had to go and sort out the house and get, she was coming home. I got in the car and it was 7:30 on like a Thursday morning. Everybody else is just carrying on with their life. Like when you go into a funeral, you see everyone else, painters and decorators wandering around. Everyone's just living their normal life, and you're like, fucking hell, everybody stop. This happened to me last night.
Yeah.
And I got in the car and I put the radio on. It was the radio station I worked for. It was Capital, and a really good friend of mine, Johnny Vaughan, was doing the breakfast show, right? Johnny Vaughan is probably one of the funniest communicators I've ever worked with. Hilarious. I mean, just really, really good. And I put the radio on and he made me laugh. My guard was down. My guard was down. He made me snigger. It was like, and I remember thinking, shit, how powerful is what we do for a living, that I'm where I am now. And you've just made me laugh.
Yeah.
And I told him. He cried. I told him. I said to him, because he knew all that was going on with me, because I obviously worked there. Everyone at the radio station knew what was going on. And when I went back in, he was, hugged me and he was like, "Oh mate, I'm really sorry." And I told him that story and he burst into tears because you don't
just
think.
Like I'm just about to now.
Yeah. But you don't think, do you?
No.
When somebody's going through that, they put on Until the Time Is Through and the lyrics speak to them and they're like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." Or they listen to somebody on the radio or they listen to a podcast and it changes how they're feeling at that split second. And you catch yourself, because I did catch myself. Why are you laughing? And
you almost said the guilt.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But it's that's a
natural reaction. Though.
Yeah. And never forget it with what I do for a living now. We've had emails. Me and you have had emails from, I'm thinking of one who I think she may listen to this podcast, but there was one lady who was going through cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And every time she went for chemotherapy, she made sure she listened to us on the way there because it made her feel normal.
Yeah.
I mean, what a powerful, and what a privilege to have, to be able to do that.
But that's why I say it all the time. So, that's why I love this podcast so much. That's why I always want to, it doesn't matter how busy I get, I always want to do this podcast, because it's us just being completely raw and real, and sometimes we'll make you laugh and sometimes
make ourselves cry.
Yeah, sometimes we'll make ourselves cry and maybe, someone that's listening to this now might be going through exactly what you've already been through, and the fact that we're, I don't know, open enough and brave enough maybe to show all of sides of life. You know, the fact that we've gone, do you know what? It's on the sheet of paper, and the fact that Karen's given you almost the what's the word I'm looking for?
Permission
to talk about it, because she knows you bottle it up, and she'll and you know what? Karen will listen to it, and she will cry, and she'll laugh, because as I've said that, she'll be crying, and then I'm going to say cock, and then she'd laugh.
Okay, well, I think we've covered that. Is it easier bringing up boys or girls? I'm conscious we've probably been talking for quite a long time. I would personally say, we both got both, so I'll go first. I would say girls at the beginning, not so much in their teenage years.
Oh,
boys, you haven't got there yet. Boys at the teenage years, but not at the beginning.
Well, no, so I would say at the moment, I'd say girls are easier.
Yeah.
But
good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know, because girls and mums and girls and dads very different. Boys and like with the boys, they're both 18 and 23. They're just me mates.
Yeah.
Like me and Cav play pool, and we play darts, and we're competitive with each other, and we have a laugh, and every now and again, if he needs a hug, he'll get one, but it's very rare. Me and Bren are like two peas in the pod, and we get on so well. Even better now, he's not there under my feet doing fuck all with his life. Now he's out there doing something.
Yeah.
And then you've got the girls who, I see my boys would say that I'm easier on the girls. Like, I'm quite tough on the boys. I'm tough on the girls as well, but that's so the boys see it. But I think, I don't know, girls, I agree with you. I think they're going to be fucking nightmare especially when they start dating. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. And we're going to wrap it up with a favourite thing about each of your kids. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Kirsty, the way she is with her kids blows my mind every time. She is such a good mum. She's a single mum.
Mm.
And her whole life is dedicated to her kids.
Mm.
And she understands them. She's strong with them. Discipline wise, she's not disciplined, but teaching right from wrong.
Yeah.
And she will do anything for her kids. And I love that so much about her. She's a very protective mother for her kids. And I think that's really important. Harry, I love his independence. I love the fact that as soon as he could sort of leave college, he was out of there. I want to just get a job and earn money. Very much like me.
Yeah.
Exactly the same as me. And I think his girlfriend, he's chosen a really lovely girlfriend, and she's exactly what he needs. And he's just he's funny. I'm going to say funny.
We're very lucky with our kids, because they've all got really strong characters, really, and probably should give ourselves and our wives a pat on the back for how well they've turned out, because we must have done something right.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're all great kids.
I think So I would say with Harry, I love his independence and I love all of the things, because both my kids are funny. But actually, Sam is funny. Sam is like Sam's like he could be a stand-up comic.
Sam's and you won't. I know you won't take offence. Sam's a funny dickhead. He's funny with it. Like he's very.
He's a cheeky Essex boy.
Yeah.
He's a proper cheeky Essex boy.
He is.
And he's always been. I always used to say when he was a small person, when he was a little child, I always used to go, he's a little cheeky monkey.
Yeah.
He's always been cheeky. The first ever picture, I don't know if you've seen it, of him as a baby, like newborn, is that. He's doing that at the camera. He doesn't obviously know what he's doing, but it suits
Sam,
him.
he might
it
do.
Suits him. So I would go, Kirsty's mothering skills are incredible. Her parenting skills are incredible. Harry's independence, and I would go with Sam's sense of humour.
Okay, very good. I will go. I'll start with Brennan. Funny as shit. He's very funny. Don't tell him I said that. But no, he's very funny, and what he's done, I'm most proud of him right this second. Like going to Thailand and literally just making a decision on his own, and that is a free spirit. The fact that he's gone, and because he had so many opportunities to not go.
Yeah,
there was meant to be like 8 or 9 of them, or even more going. They were dropping like flies, and then ended up with 2 of them going. And at that point, I thought he was going to go, oh, fucking only me and Alex now, I'm not going to bother. And he's gone, no, I said I'm going. You know, so I couldn't, like, the way he's so clever. Like, he's the university. So I'd say I'm really proud of the man he's become massively. So my favourite part is, I suppose, in a way, is that he's done it. He's just got up and sorted his life out massively. Cavan, his independence is exactly the same. He's very, very similar to Harry in that way. Like
they are very similar kids, actually. Aren't they? Harry and Cavan.
Like Cavan, I suppose my favourite thing is how he's dealt with his diabetes. Yeah. Like literally not going to let it ruin my life. This is my new life. But his independence, the way he gets himself, his work ethic, gets himself up, showered, ready, and like his exams, like I've never seen someone revise more. Brennan's the complete opposite. Doesn't revise, aces the exams, which is typical Brennan, very similar to me. Cavan, he's worked his bollocks off. Like, he didn't give himself a day off after his last exam. He's just finished A-levels, straight into work the next day.
Yeah.
He's going on holiday in a couple of weeks. He's booked himself in the day after. I said that's a mistake, but
Harry's coming back tonight at 11 o'clock in Luton. We'll get back here about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and is working tomorrow morning. And I did say to him, "You're an idiot. You should have just booked another day off."
And then you've got Bobby. She's so her own person. She knows exactly what she wants. She knows exactly who she is. Very, very talented with her drawing and stuff. But she's hilarious. That kid is hilarious. She's gonna be a little actress or something. Like, there's something going on there. She's got a touch of something that we've not diagnosed, but she's got so good with it. Like, I think she knows herself. So she's actually, what I would say about Bobby is how much better she's got controlling her emotions. She knows she gets overwhelmed in certain situations, but she takes herself away, deals with it, and that's all her. She's not been taught that. She's taught herself how to deal with her emotions. And Cage is also a little lunatic. But like in a good way. And also really talented with drawing. Like, so they're both, we're so lucky. Yeah. All of our kids are just fantastic. But yeah, like the little performances that the girls do. Yeah. Like, I know they're going to grow out of them, but like, they're so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our child, Joe Kinch, his editing skills are incredible.
It's really, really good.
And yeah, just proud of him.
Tell you what, Joe, that had a few,
Don't, because I'm literally on the edge of crying again, so please don't.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, did you cry as well?
Oh my God.
That was...
sorry, everybody.
No, but this is what this podcast can do.
Yeah.
And fucking, has it been... How long is this podcast, Joe?
Well, an hour and a half.
So we could have actually done a part 1, part 2 of episode C.
Oh my God.
We could actually drop it in 2 episodes.
We could, you should comedy half hour and then an hour of get your fucking tissues out, but not in a pistious way.
Yeah. Not in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's lock nicely, without a key, children into the
not these fucking kids away.
A to Z of men.
Fuck.
Mate.
Oh, God. I almost want to...
That was intense, yeah.
Get Kerry and Karen and say, fuck off. That was fucking hard. Oh, mate.
We've got the last bit to do, but I do need to... Can we pause the video for a minute?
Yeah.
God. Yeah, fucking hell. Need a fucking vodka. I don't even drink vodka.
This better not be the light. This better have been the shade.
Yeah, imagine. So you go, oh no, we didn't think
Depression.
What? Yeah, fuck off.
And we're back. We're taking a week's break. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
That is I guess at least you get a holiday after this. Right, ready whenever.
Do you know what? This actually does cool down in here. That is definitely cooler in
Yeah,
here
it's
now.
definitely cooler now.
Are we back on the YouTube?
I should have had a piss. I need a piss. Because all that's going to happen is we're going to start, and I'm going to.
I've got a delivery notification. Oh, no.
We can dance all night. We can dance in the morning light. We can dance in the morning light.
Tell me when you're good.
Tell me when
Yeah,
you're
we're ready.
good.
Okay. So, episode C on the A to Z of Men is children. So, I feel lighter.
Yeah. I mean, disclaimer, just had a little break.
Just had a cup of tea.
Yeah, because it was quite,
Little wander.
there's quite a lot going on.
But yes, that is what the A to Z of Men is all about.
it is.
Is shared experiences. And we've always said there's nothing off the table.
Nothing off the table.
I've never chosen to bring that subject up, but it's never came up.
No.
And I'd always be worried that Karen might not want me to talk about stuff like that. But she kindly gave me permission to open my soul on a podcast.
On a podcast.
Thanks, Karen. If you could follow us on Insta, that'd be amazing. We mentioned it before. We're trying to build that audience on Instagram. So A to Z of Men Pod, if you can get yourself over there. And just wrapping up quickly this week, because we do realise we've taken up quite a lot of your time.
Take it up.
Is the name game.
Yes.
And for C, the name game today, I can see this being a theme throughout the episode. The name is Chris Brooks. That's the name on the name game today.
Okay.
So, Joe, you won last time. Joe Kinch to start the name game for Chris Brooks.
Okay. Chris Brooks likes
Yeah, Chris Brooks cries a lot.
Chris Brooks likes to hang curtains. That's Chris Hooks.
It's good.
Very good. Okay. Chris Brooks.
Wow.
Oh, Chris Brooks. He's a dab hand in the kitchen. That's Chris Cooks.
Chris Brooks has
Wanker. Oh, sorry.
a new set of glasses. That's Chris Looks.
Okay.
Oh, this one's topical. Chris Brooks is been in trouble. That's Chris Crooks.
Okay, he's very good.
Very good. Chris Brooks loves to go to the library. That's Chris Books.
That's very clever. Chris... That's not an easy one at all.
No,
is it?
it's really not.
No.
Chris Brooks likes his favourite piece in chess. That's Chris Rooks.
Very good.
Wow.
I thought I was out then.
Yeah.
On my own name.
Yeah.
God, this is a hard one, man. Chris Brooks. In all the crannies, that's Chris Nooks.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
very
pretty
good.
good.
Very
Oh my
good.
God, I'm pulling this out my arse.
Chris Brooks, he likes to shake trees. That's Chris Shooks.
Yeah, you can have that.
Fuck.
I think I'm out because I've got one, but it's not.
You're clutching at straws.
Chris Brooks likes stealing things. That's Chris Tooks. But
No, fuck off.
Tooks is you can't pluralise it.
No.
I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. Joe?
Ooh.
I don't think there's any more.
No, I
he's out.
genuinely don't think I've got
Scott,
any
you
more.
won.
Have you got one more just for a
no,
victory
let me
lap?
just see.
You
Or?
got one more. Now the pressure's off. I still can't think of any.
No. I think we've actually done them all.
Brooks, Tooks.
No, I think that's
it. We've extinguished the rhymes for Brooks.
Yeah.
So that's happened. A to Z of Men will be back next week for episode D. We were told that C and D were light and shade. Hopefully that was the shade, and there's light to come.
There's light to
which
come.
means Dick is probably going to be the word for D.
It could be.
It could well be. Thank you so much for having us on wherever you are. It was a long one today, and hopefully that's given you a few days, and we'll obviously digest this in our bonus episode on Thursday.
We will.
And then back with episode D next week on the A to Z of Men. Until then, have a great week.
Slayer.